sure everyone's heard the story how it got started between Tom and Dan. They had a little meeting about what could we do to kind of give back.
I got a bug up in my head about doing something more for the community, Henderson Motorsports for the community, and got me thinking. And I went down to Dan Diker, met him one day, and just decided to ask him if we could do a little more, and maybe we could put our heads together and figure something out.
Matt and his racing team had brought me a huge banner in thanks for the coverage we had of him that year, and Tom Ludwigson stayed behind us. Those guys had to go to work, and so you know, a lot of people have supported us throughout the years, and all the sponsors and the Raceway, and you know, we want to give back to the community, but we just don't know how. And I said, well, give me a couple days and we'll see what we can come up with. And I had great connections with the La Crosse School District, so I called the gal that was there at the time and told her kind of what we wanted to do and what we were feeling we wanted to do. She hooked us up with a disadvantaged family.
And we got together at this Summit School, I believe the first one was, and had a nice family. We got together and bought them a bunch of gifts, and it just started to explode over the years.
Yeah, we have 8 families, 28 kids, I believe. I'm not sure how many adults we have, but yeah, I mean, we did 8 families last year and 8 families again this year, and it's pretty cool when we hand out all the gifts at Pischke, and the kids don't expect, you know, anything really, and they're just wondering what the heck are we doing here at Pischke. And so, yeah, all our kids help us carry out the presents and hand them to all these kids, and we watch them open them, and pretty cool, ain't it?
Yeah.
The faces on the kids, I tell you, it's just priceless. That's what I think that's what Christmas is all about, just giving, and you know, it really touches your heart, and a lot of tears from everybody, a lot of hugs, a lot of smiles, and it's just a good feeling overall.
This all started with my dad. He's the backbone behind this race team and this event.
Anything we can do to help someone else's Christmas be special, that's what we're trying to do.
And there's a lot of children and families that are very needy in the school district and West Salem. And people, I don't think, realize how desperate some families are, and they really do need the help.
Kept hearing people tell us every year, you know, how do we get involved with this, and what can we do to help? And so the 4th year there, we decided let's open it up, and if we can help more people, let's do it, you know. So we opened it up, and every year it just grows. We get more donations and more people hear about it and want to get involved.
We don't know any of the families. We actually go to the schools, and we let the schools help us find the most needy families.
What's really apparent is, like, especially in the winter time, and we have recess no matter how, well, when it's really cold they don't go out, when it's below 30 below zero, but even 10 below, the kids are outside playing, and there's some kids who don't have winter jackets, they don't have boots, and they don't have snow pants and mittens and hats. So those kind of things are apparent. And then when I worked at the preschool class, we had some kids that would come in the morning, and they would be starving because they didn't have anything to eat at home. And so we would feed them breakfast.
A lot of the most common things are just your everyday items that you're so used to just naturally having yourself.
Clothes, some household items, you know, but the most thing people ask for, warm clothes, household stuff like vacuum cleaners.
The most common thing is jackets and gloves and hats. That's, you know, we've been out there wrapping a few hours now, and we've wrapped a lot of gloves and hats and a couple coats, and you know, those are things that we all you know, everybody has, you'd think. But a lot of these people, they don't have that kind of stuff. And a couple other things, I saw someone out there wrapping a big thing of toilet paper, you know. Those are the things that really make you, it just puts things into perspective, because you never dream, you know, this is a Christmas list and this is what they're asking for, so.
And the kids ask, well, we always try and buy toys. No, even if they don't ask for it, because what's Christmas without toys?
We try and balance it out, but between the parents and the kids, I think everyone goes home pretty happy.
The children are the most important thing here. To see the excitement on their faces, to hear their chatter, their laughter, their, you know, it's just special to me to help all these children.
Want to keep your employees happy? Buy them all lunch. Hi, Jerry here at Big Boar Barbecue. We cater lunches all the time for businesses big and small, 10 to 500. We can handle it. Give us a call and we'll help you figure out a great menu. Let's face it, good people are hard to find, so we can help you keep the ones you got. My grandpa used to say, you want to keep someone happy? Feed them barbecue. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem.
Just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
And online at BigBoarBBQ.com.
Well, we have a couple meetings every year, and just the first one just to get the ball rolling and try and decide, you know, we talk about the previous year, how it went, and can we do more families, and if we can, how much more you think we can do. And every year it seems we try and add a couple more, and so we added a couple more this year again. And the biggest thing is just we have a couple different people on our team and family that know the school district really well. They either work in the school district or they had previously worked there and retired, or so we have a few people who know a lot of people, and they kind of take charge of which schools do we want to go to, and you know, they know who to talk to at the schools. And
kind of keeps growing. I keep getting contacted by more and more people that have seen what we do, and they want to know what can we do to help.
Because we only had, I think, one. Didn't we start out with just one?
One family.
One family.
One child.
You know, and then there was, I don't know, went to 3 or 4 maybe, and then it just kind of kept getting bigger and bigger. And you know, it's amazing how, to the sponsors of the race car and stuff, how generous they are to help support this. Because it's all about them also. If they wouldn't support this, we wouldn't be able to do it. And there's other community members that have done it too, that have helped contribute to this so that we can go and do that shopping and get those presents and do this. So really without them, it wouldn't be as big as it is now.
And that's why
yeah.
we can do that many families, is because of the sponsors.
there's no way we could have grew into what it's become now without all the generous people in the community that have donated to it.
Everybody wants to help out everybody during the holidays, and I know the strength of the Henderson family. They're a very tight-knit group. Even Henderson Motorsports is a very tight-knit group, but at the same time, you know, without a good backbone, things can fizzle after 2 or 3 years.
We kind of keep growing. We have just the most wonderful sponsors that keep helping us, and some of our stores that help us out too. Walmart has been awesome for us.
I think about 5 years ago when we were approached by Henderson Motorsports with a request to help support needy families in the area. And we were happy to do that. We have a national, a state, and a local community giving budget. And so we really try to do the most with our donation dollars that we possibly can do. And this is a great example of that. Our donation committee thought that this was an outstanding effort to donate to and make a difference. You know, initially I did. Initially I did not know anything personally about Henderson Motorsports, but a lot of our associates did. We have an associate base of over 300 people here, and a lot of our associates here frequent the raceway and are very familiar with Henderson Motorsports.
I have not done the shopping. From what I'm told anyways, well, the girls, they got it down pat now, so I just stay the heck out of the way, because they got a plan, they know what to do.
It took a little longer this year. We started at about 9:30 and we stopped shopping. It was like 2 o'clock, 2:30. It was a little later this year, but and we didn't have as many shoppers this year. So we kind of had to double up and take more families. Yeah, shop for more people. The planning, we've had a couple meetings, of course, with other people. And then Gina and I and Molly, you know, we get together and say, this is what we want to do. And, you know, there's a little more that we do for it, because then we do some shopping for the wrapping paper and the bags and all that. And we don't do it the day of the shopping. It's just too much. We already have enough to do. So I would say, well, counting today and our meetings, and then probably about 20 hours, maybe more.
You know, myself, John, Matthew and his wife, Dan Diker, Jesse and Rick from the TV station, they're a big help. My wife and all the shoppers that go out, you know, gosh, it takes a big, it takes a community to do this almost, you know, and there's probably about 6 families in the Henderson gang that do all this, you know, shopping and planning and so forth.
You know, the description I got of the one family this year was, I don't know how much I can say, it was the grandma with the grandson. She works 2 jobs and takes care of her grandson, and you just felt like, wow, that's a lot.
She's taken a lot
That's a lot.
on.
And she's an older, I wouldn't say old, but she's
Maybe
my age or older.
Yeah,
And
our age. Yeah.
I can't imagine working 2 jobs and taking care of a child. I mean, that's a lot for somebody to do.
Yeah.
And nowadays, things are not cheap. You know, if you got to pay rent and gas and food and school stuff, I mean, it's got to be
It's
tough.
a struggle.
I mean, that family alone stands out to me.
And then there was a family, I
No.
talked to the guidance counselor at Emerson, I think it was. Yeah, I think it was Emerson, and I talked to her and she said, it's one of the teachers that work for the school, but she has had 3 children and raising them on her own and struggling. And that was one of the families that we got. I thought that was, they said that the school is thrilled that
Yeah.
we're going to be able to help her.
You know, it's not just our team. We have, you know, quite a few people within the family and on our race team that, you know, do a lot to put this on, but we got other people like KQEG.
Well, this is the kind of thing that KQEG and Magnum Media should be involved in. The FCC gives us a license to serve the public, and this is such a great example of what broadcasting and people coming together can do to serve the public interest. And so for us to be involved in this, it's just a great thing. We really enjoy it, and the look on those kids' faces makes it all worthwhile.
You know, you guys go around and film all this, and then you put the hours in to make a show out of it to kind of show people what it's all about, and that's something really special to us. Dan Diker, he's got hundreds of connections that he gets a hold of every year. There's just a lot of moving parts for sure, but we all have the same goal, and that's to make a couple families' Christmases a little better than, you know, it probably could have been. And that's what we all strive for, and that's what we shoot for, and that's what this event is all about, just trying to make some kids smile, and when they're smiling, we're smiling, that's for sure.
It's a big team effort, really it is. A lot of fun though.
Today we're here wrapping. We probably got 20-some people, you know, at one point wrapping stuff. And
Best rapper, I don't know who the best rapper would be. The gals are always much better than the guys, I think.
Cool J. LL Cool J. Isn't he the best rapper? No.
Best rapper. My goodness. I think Amy does a good job. She's about top notch. Does a real good job. Everything is just perfect.
probably my sister Amy. Between her and my Aunt Carrie, theirs looks professionally done, all wrapped up with bows around it and all that kind of stuff. And
Yes. I'm a little creative. Well, Amy, oh yeah, Amy and Boomer. If you get Amy and Boomer together, they can kind of do whatever.
You know, I have to admit, and I'm not brown-nosing here, Rick Wilson, our station manager, he knows how to wrap a present. I was watching him because he was given a lot of big boxes. And the way he was just kind of flipping through, his creases were real nice, the tape was on point. I thought he did a really nice job.
Boomer's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think Rick is pretty particular. He likes his angles, you know, so I would say, yeah. Now, if Amy was rapping, they'd all have pretty bows and ribbons and just fancy-dancy. Mm-hmm. I'm not like that. So I don't know where she got that from. I'm not a good rapper.
Now, John, I don't know about. He's a little rough around the edges.
I would get the worst rapper award.
worst rapper? I don't know. I saw Dan rapping a couple in there. Looked pretty rough, a couple of them.
I have to put myself into some of the worst because I can't draw a straight line with a ruler, let alone get anything matched up when it comes to rapping. That's why the wife does all the rapping. I would say myself and Timothy Carlson, who's on Matt Henderson's crew, we're probably the two worst rappers that were there that day.
He may have gotten better over time because we had 37 people to rap for, so he got his practice for sure.
We do our best, and I know half the time the children don't care how it's wrapped. They just are excited to open them. So
when they all show up at 4:30 on Friday, it's all the work that goes into this. You don't even think about it. It's just all so special, and there's not a dry eye in the house, and there's a lot of grown men in there that you'd never think would get teared up, and it's just one of them things that really touches everybody that's there. And
you want barbecue, but she doesn't? What do? Hi, Jerry here at Big Boar Barbecue. We know not everyone wants barbecue. That's why we feature so much more, like our fried chicken, Philly steak sandwich, meatloaf, great burgers, salads, wraps, and more. So keep peace in the family, stop in and try something from our extensive menu. It's so much cheaper than a divorce. Big Boar and more, Highway 16 West Salem.
Just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Yeah, it's a mouthful.
each family has a story. My most favorite story would be the family lived with their grandparents, and their mom lived in a trailer, or I don't know, it was a mobile home right outside of their grandparents' house. It's just the one that sticks with me the most because back then we drove the car to the house, and so we're driving down on French Island there, and we pull around the corner and all three kids are out playing, and as soon as they heard me come around the corner, they all just stopped and their mouths are dropped wide open and they didn't know what the heck was going on. And
the best story was, I think, from last year. A little boy came up to me with his little car that we gave him, and he said to me that, you know, this is one of the gifts that I probably would never get. I don't think he told me that he wasn't going to really have a good Christmas, and I don't think they were going to get any gifts. So, and that touched my heart pretty good. There's other families that we given to. There was a guy and his two kids. They lived out of a warehouse, and it's just amazing, you know, humbling is what it is. So just a pretty neat story. The first time we took the race car out on the road, and that was sort of fun too. The following year we took the car down the road, and the cops shut down Highway 53 for us, and we brought the whole gang down there, the race car and everything else down the highway, right over top of Rose Street. That was pretty nice too.
Being a part of this Henderson Motorsports Christmas surprise, the word humbling really comes to mind when you see all of the different entities that have come together for this thing through the past 6 years. It's neat to be a part of something. It's neat to be a part of something that's growing, but it's the same people. It's not 1,000 people that are on a board and we're passing bills and whatnot to get this thing through. It's the same group. We meet the same time every single year, and we get the same thing done. The generosity of the La Crosse area and the West Salem area is just huge. A lot of Matt's sponsors had came up to Matt a couple of years ago, and we were talking about this, and they'd said, why weren't we asked 4 years ago? And it's hard to ask people for money, but they got to see how this thing was growing and how many families we were affecting in the La Crosse County area. So to watch that come together, to watch what you and Rick have done, putting this thing on TV now as a half-an-hour program, it's just such a humbling experience to be a part of something like this and to stand back and watch the tears.
I say the first couple of years we just did it, myself and Matthew, and just paid for it ourselves, and people started hearing about it. Our sponsors, were calling and saying, hey, we want to help. And they really are changing these families' lives, and couldn't do it without them. And so we thank each and every one of them. And I know most of them show up at the giving, and they get the same feeling I do. They just want to do it again.
Christmas means being together with family and doing things for other people. My husband and I talked about it last night, and we'd like to do more of that and, kind of just help people who really need it.
Well, this has all changed for me. When we have this now, I told my wife that this is my Christmas. This is what I give to people, and they give to me as well. All the families. It's a pretty neat feeling, and this is all I need for Christmas right here, is when I do this.
Number one, it's family. I've had some instances in life where family, we were a very tight-knit family as I was growing up in Wisconsin, and to see some of those traditional things through the years get kind of taken away with this sibling moving or this sibling moving. Daughter and grandkids, had moved away, so we missed them for 2 Christmases, which was really hard. But this year, they're back, and the house is going to be full of my entire family, and I think number one, it's family. A good time to reflect back on things that have happened maybe in the past or the past year, and what you can do the next year. So I would say family to me would have to be number one.
Oh, Christmas is just it's kind of a magical time. It's family. Family is it. Getting everybody together, all the happy children, happy adults. It's just excitement in the air when it's Christmas time for everyone. And like I say, this is hopefully putting some excitement in the air for these families.
Christmas to me just means hanging out with the family. We're all not going to be here forever, and I know that's not what you want to think about at Christmas, but I just try and enjoy. It's just a time where we can all get together, and if there's any feuding going on, or if there's any any drama outside of your say at your work or something, you can come on Christmas, forget it all, just relax, have fun with your family and your kids. And that's what we try and do every year. We get gifts for our kids, and we all put our name in a hat, and we get one adult family member to buy for, and so we just have fun. Just hanging out with family. That's all it is to me. Just hanging out with the family and making memories with the kids. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, I want to help twice as many if I could. I mean, it just makes you feel so good to help out, and like I said, it just makes you feel good. So next year, you know, it's we'll see what happens. Hopefully we can continue to do this. It's just wonderful. Like I say, the enthusiasm with our helpers, you know, our gals that help us shop, they are just magical. I don't know how they can pick out all these gifts for all these people. They just are wonderful. And I mean, they're really the stars of the whole Christmas giving, because I wouldn't have a clue what to get, and they are wonderful.
It really doesn't hit you that day as the event goes on, or maybe that night. But after we reflect a couple of days later and you start seeing the memories and the pictures, that's the most humbling part of being a part of that. So we're 6 years in, and I can just imagine how big this is going to get as we continue to do this for La Crosse County families in the next 6 years.
Every year we get calls from people. They want to know how they get involved, and the biggest thing I tell them is if you want to donate, that's awesome, but you got to show up to the event to see what all this goes towards, because we can try and explain it to everyone, and there's just nothing like being there. So 6 years and going strong. I think we'll be able to keep it up hopefully a long time.
Want to keep your employees happy? Buy them all lunch. Hi, Jerry here at Big Boar Barbecue. We cater lunches all the time for businesses big and small, 10 to 500. We can handle it. Give us a call and we'll help you figure out a great menu. Let's face it, good people are hard to find, so we can help you keep the ones you got. My grandpa used to say, you want to keep someone happy? Feed them barbecue. Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem.
Just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
And online at BigBoarBBQ.com.